Hello, it's a lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Top stories in the news tonight. PF Vice President Given LUBINDA drags the UPND youths to court for defamation of character. MUTENDERE residents living in fear after a shooting to death of a UPND member. A clergyman charges that legalizing polygamy will undermine Zambia's Christianity tag. In international news, UN expert in Sudan to verify rights violation after coup. And in sports news, SHEPOLOPOLO qualify to the women AFCON.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Residents of MUTENDERE compound of Munali constituency are gripped with fear, calling for police patrols in the area to ensure the area is secured from criminal activities. This follows a shooting incident that occurred Monday, in which a man was shot dead by unknown criminals. They wonder why some people still own guns regardless of the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security's warning against illegally owning guns. The firearm amnesty extension ended December 31, 2021, in which people in possession of illegal firearms were to hand them over to the police without fear of prosecution. More in this report.
It is said that this is the war where one of the bullets landed in the case of a man who was shot dead on Monday morning in Lusaka's MUTENDERE compound. Residents are gripped with fear, worrying that the shootings are becoming a norm and wonders where the police are in ensuring security in the compound.
MUTENDERE kwa bipa batwafurisheko tukwateko security ya kuti batusungire mu muno kono kunchende kumwa prot batwafurisheko panto every time kwamba kuti tikefe tabesa nako kuranda vya tabesa nako. So that's why turerombera ati batwafurisheko na ifu kuri ino nchende bare patrola ko kuri ino nchende ngana twikara nafuna tushana tukwata security.
Then after sometimes tandra chemoto. Nkala zimba sinikushuta no muserusa basi. Ndio kushuta na futi nangana hapo. Offense huko. Hapo. Offense
Much more to note is since the firearm amnesty extension ended on December 31, 2021, where it was expected that people in possession of illegal firearms should hand them over to the police without fear of prosecution. Regardless of this exercise, incidents of murder are still on the rise and response from relevant authorities has not been overwhelming. The residents have since urged that the urgent response by government security is needed to bring sanity in the compounds. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
4 workers of Best Choice Trading, a Lebanese company dealing in the production of snacks in Lusaka, have allegedly been illegally fired by their employer without reason. In an interview with Camnet News, the aggrieved workers allege that they were served with a said letters on Monday, but have been left wondering as to what crime they committed, as it has not been stated. Meanwhile, company general manager Mr. Harrison Piri, who at first declined to comment, stated that the 4 were employed on the basis of nepotism. More in this report.
Labor disputes in Zambia are common, especially among people who work in industries. Recent months have seen various protests as workers have been demanding better pay for their work, which they say is difficult, while employers, on the other hand, have been insisting that they're paying minimum wage. Workers at such places have been calling on the Ministry of Labor and Social Security to look into their plight, alleging that various labor provisions are abrogated at their workplaces. A recent case is that of 4 workers at Best Choice and Manufacturing Limited in Lusaka, who say the company based in Lusaka's industrial area and specializes in manufacturing snacks has dismissed them without providing them reason.
Without any reason. So, if I don't wish, so twice I it was on Saturday, last Saturday. So twice I can't to parent dismissal letter. tishibe omulandu tupangire ifwe nomba kusasangati yo tabale dipera reason valera ndakatsendeni findala mashenu salary ya this month na 2 days each month for leave days saifa fitwashire kana chawe kanshi fo pok sende shinda Facebook pere dismissal letter twala sende shinda la and for sure fitwachisare futhi batula ngese kwamanje batpere manje dismissal letter yakwe bakonso ko tingaya to complain vaya tupera ma termination contract zanishanisha na matimi kila nchito reasons bakam so much woja kwa manini bila na mafamilies sunga na mafamilies kwa manyumba patu so za survive bwanja tatu muntu ore ino nlen season bantu bakumike nchito zaindo sakira kuti nchito ina so manja pezeka nzebere vochita tapezeka manga tilipe vochita tati zachita sana manje lero mbako kuboma tunolekeshe ko palife watu chitapa company pamiso hapa kwa best choice ilingo watu imike nchito tapali na reason yo watu imikire nchito lebe bachi nishi watu imikire nchito chawe management itaile mifwaya.
However, Company General Manager Mr. Harrison Piri was aggressive and declined to comment.
Because also I have written to labor. You will find me in the process of going to labor office now. That's why when you're outside, I was asking this guy, what do they want? He was, I'm going to labor. Is the salary dismissed? Labor should be notified. There's a lot of, and I can't expose it in there, but with labor, I'll provide more information.
But with the media, but you know the implications it will have on the company. That because we're going to air and then... You
air the half-baked story.
No, as media, if you don't provide, I say refuse to comment, and you know how that sounds, eh? We're going to air and we say they refuse to comment. You give them the opportunity, they refuse to comment. That's what, yes, we do write that. So I want to mention the name of the company, the complaints they have made, and the list of the company to get clarifications. They refuse to comment, and we're cleared. That's what I want to do.
I was sending my lawyer.
Yes, there's no problem.
I was sending my lawyer.
You should.
And I'll come and close Camnet TV. I'll come and close it. You are laughing. You are laughing. This is premeditated. Yeah? You don't do things like this.
After being informed that the story would be aired despite the company declining to comment, he has alleged that the four were employed on the basis of nepotism by one of the supervisors, stating that the same man has also since been dismissed on the same allegations, as well as on allegations of bribery. Meanwhile, the four have called on the Ministry of Labour to investigate the matter, stating that it is untrue and has left them destitute. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The University of Zambia retirees of 2017 to 2019 have once again staged a protest demanding dues by management with an ultimatum of before the end of March 2022. Speaking on behalf of the retirees, Siamba Ngonyambe alleges that management diverted funds to a tune of over 100 million kwacha, which were meant to pay the retirees. In this regard, the retirees have lost trust in the institution's management and are now asking for President Hakainde Hichilema to address the situation. Meanwhile, efforts to get a comment from UNZA management proved futile by broadcast time. More in the following report.
They claim that the University of Zambia, UNZA, has failed to pay their dues since 2017 when most retired. They are former UNZA workers who have retaliated through a protest at UNZA premises Tuesday, calling out management to give a way forward.
Not being paid our terminal benefits. We are not interested to be on payroll. What we want is to get our dues. We get our money so that we get settled. Not disturbing every time we come here to request for our terminal benefits from the University of Zambia. But UNZA is not ready to get whatever we tell them to do. Instead of paying retirees, they are busy paying gratuity for those who are still serving at the University of Zambia.
For ages, our friends have been paid, as we have said, And from 17 downwards now, we have not been paid. Those 17 people were supposed to be paid, but 2017 were left behind.
Mr. Siamba Ngonyambe wonders why management has not prioritized them while giving more attention paying those with unsettled gratuities.
50,000, the 50 million remained is cut to clear some 2018 up to 2020. But our worry that our challenge is that the UNZA management, instead of clearing will retirees, they are clearing those who are still on work. They are clearing the graduates, the people. But we, the retirees, were the one who fought for that money. Why clearing the graduates?
They claim management owes them dues, which they say must be cleared before the end of March 2022.
And not to do it because we know you will do it, you will give us money. So, university management and the Ministry of Education, these people, they should sit together. We want money before month end of March. We are tired. We are supposed to be cleared with our friends because we fought this money together.
Meanwhile, efforts to get UNZA management proved futile. The retirees have since stated that the next step will be at State House to seek audience with the president over the matter. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Medical for Quality Healthcare in Zambia MQHZ Director General Dr. Quince Mwabo challenged the doctors to be innovative and find alternative sources of revenue as opposed to just waiting to be employed by government. Dr. Mwabo notes that it is impossible for the government to provide employment to everyone at once and has hence need for the doctors to group up and venture into entrepreneurship as they wait to be employed. He says the health workers must be encouraged to explore avenues such as providing consultancy services in the medical fraternity. More in this report.
Unemployed doctors Monday, 21st February 2022, staged a peaceful protest demanding that President Hakainde Hichilema's administration provides a specific time frame for the recruitment of 11,200 healthcare workers as indicated in the national budget. This was the first demonstration under the United Party for National Development, having done the same under the previous leadership. Despite constraints to manage the debt situation coupled with an International Monetary Fund IMF package, the United Party for National Development has committed to employ healthcare workers, but the doctors feel the package is taking long to arrive.
Doctors are going to get employed. I know that is our concern. Personally, I lost count of the statements. So the same ministry, the permanent secretary, will issue a statement. The following day, the minister will issue a different.
The government has been relentless in responding to their concerns.
And just be truthful. Don't hide. I'm not going to promise you, no, 800 tomorrow instant. No, in medicine you don't do that. But you'll be recruited. You'll be recruited.
Give us a timeline, Professor.
No. See, look, that's what I'm saying. The secretary to the cabinet will have the last say as to when.
But Medical for Quality Healthcare in Zambia, Director General Quince Mwabo has challenged the doctors to be innovative and find alternative sources of revenue as opposed to just waiting to be employed by the government.
We have got a lot of health workers who are not employed, thousands of health workers who are waiting to be employed. And the best thing that we need to do as a country is, this is the right time we need to encourage our people to venture into entrepreneurship, especially health cadres, to make sure that they venture into something else than waiting for them to be employed. And there's a lot of things that can be done. What is important is they need to come up with an initiative to make sure that they form different groups and they start supplying the medical devices and product to the government. If government sees such kind of initiative, definitely they are going to be supported.
He adds that the healthcare workers must explore avenues such as providing consultancy services in the medical fraternity.
So this is the right time where we need to encourage the health workers to venture into something else than waiting for them to be employed. So it's a right time to make sure that they should not rely on their career, but they need to realize that there's something which they can do than waiting for them to be employed. not only entrepreneurship, others they can also venture into the consultancy to make sure that they are doing something, and they're also making something that can help them to support themselves. So it's the right time we need to encourage the health workers to venture into something and also do something for themselves.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Bishop John Mambo says the recommendations by the Zambia Law Development Commission to repeal the law criminalizing bigamy under the Penal Code should not be entertained, as this will lead to moral chaos. Bishop Mambo says that there is need for the Zambia Law Development Commission to clarify this matter before speculation grows among the Zambian people. The commission recently recommended for the repealing of the law criminalizing marriage to another partner while legally married to another under the statutory law, stating that the same is already provided for under the Marriage Act. More in this report.
In countries like Zambia, tradition and religion conflict, as the country is a Christian nation. While customary laws allow polygamous marriages, this is forbidden under statutory marriage. If found guilty of practicing bigamy, which is the act of marrying another person or legally married under the statutory law, this can attract a prison sentence of up to 5 years. A recent recommendation by the Zambia Law Development Commission to repeal the criminalization of the bigamy law in the Penal Code has sparked debate among stakeholders, with some for and others against the same. The Zambia Law Development Commission say this is only meant to prevent the law from being duplicated, as the same already exists under the Marriage Act. A clergyman, Bishop John Mambo, says the repealing of this law under the Penal Code could lead to moral decay, as the matter may be misunderstood.
Zambia is a Christian nation, and all I can say, this subject shouldn't see the doors of Parliament. The Law Association of Zambia, our traditional leader, because if you are to simplify things, already in different chiefdom, this is happening. Why do you bring it to be into our law books? All you are trying to do is to force people to marry. But look at the divorce rate in this country. Look at those of us married to one wife, the way we are struggling economically and all that. And where we're heading to. If I told you, declare yourself in your preamble a Christian nation, then you do the opposite.
Bishop Mambo further says the country has other pressing issues, such as the need for the Information Bill and the enhancing of the Bill of Rights, unlike repealing the law of bigamy.
The Bill of Rights of as one, you know, Information Bill, you know, all that. So why rise to something that, you know, that doesn't help the nation? This is quite urgent, because if you have your Bill of Rights, you don't need to spend millions to see a lawyer. If your rights are being trampled upon, you take that to court and the day is good for you. Information Bill, you want to know more about me without you having been troubled and so forth. So we need to, in fact, there are a number of them that were left by our colonial masters. Various
stakeholders have called on the Zambia Law Development Commission to come forward and clear the confusion that has come about due to the same. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Kabata Member of Parliament Given Lubinda has sued United Party for National Development Youths Mainda Simata and Likwanya Matomola for defamation of character. Mr. Lubinda, who is also Patriotic Front acting president, is demanding 1 million kwacha for damages. This is in relation to accusations being peddled by the UPND youths that Mr. Lubinda personalized the Kabata Skills Center, depriving the youths access to the building. The United Party for National Development, UPND Alliance, Monday formally reported former Kabata Member of Parliament Given Lubinda to the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, for allegedly turning the Kabata Skills Development Center into personal property during his tenure in office. Among the youths was Kamala Ward 5 Councillor Mainda Simata, who threatened to deny access to Mr. Lubinda to the building if the SEC does not comply. More in this report.
The trend of political figures being cited for corruption soon after they leave office is not new to the Zambian democratic dispensation. Many political figures, especially those from the former ruling party, have been summoned and questioned for corruption allegations ranging from owning property suspected to be proceeds of crime and generally taking duly advantage of their office to do wrong things. For close to 4 months, former Kawata lawmaker Given Lubinda has been put under pressure by the United Party for National Development Youths, accusing him of personalizing Kawata Skills Center, which is meant for the benefit of the community. Monday, 22nd February 2022, saw the UPND Alliance Youths, led by Mainda Samata, report Lubinda to the Anti-Corruption Commission.
That is not what that property was for. It is for the community. So we want SEC to expedite this issue before we engage other gears that are going to have to force us to mobilize our people so that we can just now forcibly take over that property, because we are not going to wait for investigations which will take too long, because we need to use that facility now, and we have to take over that facility now on behalf of the community, because it belongs to the community. We are going to give, we agreed on 2 weeks with the dealing officer who's looking at this case. So after 2 weeks, we expect to have a positive, concrete feedback. And the feedback that we want is for that place to be returned back to the community in the soonest possible time.
And in response to this, Mr. Lubinda has sued the UPND youths for defamation of character, demanding 1 million kwacha. In a letter, Mr. Lubinda has cited a TV appearance on one of the TV stations where he was accused of the same offense.
People are free to accuse anyone they wish, but to provide evidence is another matter. So now we're going to wait for the accusers to adduce the evidence. And it's good that they have gone to the Anti-Corruption Commission. However, they went to the Anti-Corruption Commission after they received a demand from my lawyers on this issue, because they've been going about it for months on end. And finally, when my lawyers wrote to them, they decided to go to the Anti-Corruption Commission. So at least now they'll be given 2 opportunities to prove that indeed what they're saying is true. They will have to prove it to the Anti-Corruption Commission and also have to prove it in court.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A political analyst, Professor Bizek Piri, has lamented that the former ruling party PF is being weakened by intra-party divisions, a situation he has described as unfortunate. Recently, social media has been dominated by audio confrontations amongst senior PF officials pertaining to party affairs. And Professor Piri says the approach in the PF rebranding process is not convincing and may reduce their vibrancy as a major opposition political party in the country. In key positions is also a mistake, he says, they are making, adding that they need to convene before the convention slated for June to confront critical matters affecting them at the moment.
So for me, I would rather have the parties, PF, quickly organize. They shouldn't wait for June. They should find a way of having a national convention as soon as possible so that people are elected properly, and therefore they can confidently run the affairs of the party. And also maybe I can take this advantage that what I'm saying also goes with the other former political parties. The Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, the United National Independence Party, they need to get down on the ground and say, let's reorganize ourselves. Why am I saying so? Opposition political parties are what make democracy work. When you have a weak opposition political parties, democracy also becomes weak. In other words, the United Party for National Development, which is in power today, needs strong opposition for it to function to the benefit of Zambia. So, I'm not saying UPND is not the best, but I'm saying for them to work effectively and well, they need to have opposition parties that are well organized. Who can be saying to government, no, I think things should go this way. And that way, we are going to build Zambia together.
Civil society organizations championing natural resources have called on government to ensure that they set a clear roadmap on the payment of community scouts in wildlife reserve areas. Addressing the media Tuesday, Zambia Community Resource Board Association President George Tembo has charged that people's livelihoods have been disrupted due to non-payment of salaries to the workers in this sector. Mr. Tembo notes that the wildlife conservation is co-managed by the community, who are community scouts who have not been paid for the past 7 months. Meanwhile, Association Chairperson Dr. Rogers Lubilo has bemoaned low government funding towards the wildlife sector, which he says has resulted in the irregularities in the sector.
Game management areas are basically managed by communities. Communities are responsible for taking care of the wildlife resources. And we expect that as communities will partner with the government to continue to secure the livelihoods. We note that the inadequate funding to the wildlife sector is a big threat to the survival of national parks and game management areas.
It is the same, they are the same funds that we use to pay community scouts. They are the same funds that we use to improve the livelihoods of our local communities. They are the same funds that made patrols possible. So in the absence of having no funds coming to community is equal to collapse of anti-poaching work. A decline on how the manpower can intervene to different threats of our wildlife and other natural resources. It is for this factor that we wish to appeal to the government, the new Dawn administration, through the office of His Excellency, the President, to come on board and quickly resolve the matter of funds disbursement. We wish, if possible, the mechanism should be set so that the government does not keep communities in arrears. If we are all together, fight and ensure that wildlife is being protected. Otherwise, as we talk about 2021, we are now talking about 12 months plus, people are not being paid. And we expect results. So basically, you see, it's rough. If somebody can stay without a payment just for a month, the results becomes rough. So this is equal to, it's giving us a threat that our wildlife might be disturbed.
You're watching Camnet TV and not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom? Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction. Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Education officers from the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, have implored the youths in Zambia to desist from drug and alcohol abuse. Speaking during the orientation of the Sober Youth Lab project targeting 40 youth from Athletic Lusaka, Ms. Rhoda Mkandawire says effective change is required towards drug and alcohol abuse. Meanwhile, Youth Life Project Executive Director Michael Nkosi says the Sober Youth Lab project aims to curb the increasing crime in Zambia. More in the following report.
Drug and alcohol abuse is one of the major social and public health concerns worldwide. It poses a huge burden on healthcare systems and blocks education achievements of young people. Therefore, its prevention is critical to the sustainability of not only good public health system, but also economic and educational development of the country. In Zambia, drug and alcohol abuse prevention activities have been executed by the Ministry of Health, DEC, and other stakeholders. Educational officers from the Drug Enforcement Commission have implored the youth in Zambia to desist from drug abuse and change their mindsets. Ms. Rhoda Mkandawire represented DEC in the orientation of the Sober Youth Lab. Ms. Mkandawire says young people need to change their mindsets when it comes to drug abuse.
If there is no Delta 98C, then we'll let you go because you don't have any Mulan. Because TNC Mulibe is a Drug Enforcement Commission.
Meanwhile, Youth Life Project Executive Director Michael Nkosi says the Sober Youth Lab project aims to curb the high crime rates in Zambia.
It's in the name of Atletico Lusaka. So as you may be aware, this is a team that comprises of a good number or rather percentage of the junior national teams and of course flashes here and there representing the senior national team. But now what is happening in the space under the Sober Youth Lab is we are talking to the boys about the dangers of drug abuse, and we are educating them we are initiating them into the doping systems and all what they need to know about drug related to their careers in sport.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry has assured the media of free flow of information dissemination at the ministry, unlike the way it was in the recent past. Ministry Director of Foreign Trade Bessie Chelemu says capacity building is key if the face of the country is to be enhanced, encouraging the media to get trade-related information from the ministry. Mrs. Chelemu adds that the information gap between the media and the ministry may lead to improper actualization of projects being carried out by the ministry. She was speaking Tuesday at the close of the media training and seminar for reporters on the Zambia border post upgrading project.
Within Africa and other countries beyond. Recently, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, was in Brussels for the African Union, Africa trade meeting that was happening. But everything once done, if we do not have you journalists communicating this information to the right target, communicating the information on the various bilateral trade agreements that we are engaging in, the various projects that we are receiving support from. We receive support from the EU, we receive support from COMESA, and other partners that the government has partnered with. We need you to ensure that you communicate the right information, the appropriate information to the appropriate audience. I want you to underline the word appropriate audience and the right information. And this is what we need. You will agree with me that mostly we always have a tendency for journalists to report more on the negative news. but we want you to be positive. Let's look at the benefits that are there in some of these projects that we sign up to and some of the agreements that we sign up to, and see how we engage the public, because not only are the journalists key stakeholders in this process, but also the public. But they can only be effective stakeholders in the process if they have the right information. Therefore,
an insurance company says Zambians have a poor attitude towards insurance, hence incurring huge losses in fatalities such as fire. Speaking to Camnet News after a consultative meeting on insurance with the Zambia Institute of Human Resource Monday, Prudential Life Insurance Chief Executive Officer Mr. Kachiza Kwenda adds that each company should ensure that they provide some form of insurance for their employees. He has further revealed that the rate of insurance has slowed down after the coronavirus, however stating that it is during such times that citizens need it the most.
Well, I think insurance, for example, for cars is mandatory, and the way I see it, life is more important than a car, and if we can have mandatory insurance for cars, it would be good to extend this to every facet of our existence. And the primary thing that we have, I think the one thing all of us are always happy for when we wake up is that we have the gift of life, and so surely that also deserves to be insured. So traditionally insurance has been quite low as far as penetration, but what we have been seeing is steady growth. The unfortunate events that have happened quite recently have also highlighted the need for people to have a plan that comes to them when they least expect it. So we've seen continued growth in that regard.
You're watching Camnet TV and not just another channel. We'll take another break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, A UN human rights expert was in Sudan on Monday to verify allegations of human rights violations after an October military coup plunged the country into turmoil. Thousands once again took to the streets of the capital to denounce the takeover. In other news, tourists from several destinations are returning to Zanzibar after a prolonged period due to COVID-19. Travel disruptions will soon be a thing of the past following the introduction of AD technology by the local government. This is a new scanning method that can detect COVID-19 virus in the body, the first in Africa. This non-invasive AD technology has tested nearly 20,000 people with 93% accuracy even before its launch at Zanzibar International Airport. For more in international news, here is a roundup.
The UN expert on human rights in Sudan began his visit to Khartoum to look into allegations of human rights abuse that happened during the protests that have rocked Sudan in the past few months. Adama Dieng, the UN's expert on human rights in Sudan, arrived in the capital of Khartoum on Sunday, a month after Sudan's authorities asked for the postponement of his visit, according to the UN Human Rights Council. The expert's mission is to verify allegations and claims of human rights abuses in Sudan in the demonstrations that have taken place in the country since October 25th, 2021. We later submit a report on them to the Human Rights Council in June 2022 and also to give a verbal briefing on the ongoing events and the state of human rights to the Council in March 2022. Sudan has been politically paralyzed since the coup, with the nearly daily street protest. Authorities launched a major crackdown on protesters. More than 80 people, mostly young men, have been killed and over 2,600 others injured in the protests, according to a Sudanese medical group. Sudanese security forces have also been accused of using sexual violence against women taking part in the demonstrations. Tourists from several destinations are now returning to Zanzibar after a prolonged period due to COVID-19 restrictions. Travel disruptions will soon be a thing of the past, following the introduction of EDE technology by the local government. This is a new scanning method that can detect COVID-19 virus in the body, the first in Africa.
COVID testing, and as you know, all the tests have been very invasive, and this is the first that is non-invasive, and it is the first in Africa. So this is something that we regard as a big success for Zanzibar.
This non-invasive EDE technology has tested nearly 20,000 people with 93% accuracy even before its launch at Zanzibar International Airport.
EDE, that is exponential deep examination. It makes use of the electromagnetic waves that are emitted by the human body, and it captures any changes in these electromagnetic waves which are due to the infection of the coronavirus. So this is how a person is screened as negative or positive. It is very effective because we have already done many studies, many trials. More than 20,000 individuals have already been tested by this new technology, and we have compared our results with the PCR, so it is around 93.5% sensitive.
This is a relief to travelers who can now do without PCR tests and get scanned even 2 hours before their flights.
The experience with the new testing, it's very quick, it's easy, and it's fine. Before, from floodings and nose, and it's no good for, this is the better.
I'm very lucky today to receive all the passengers who came by Dubai.
Despite the local government acknowledging that Zanzibar has not had a positive case since January, caution is still required to resume the normal travels. The objective remains to facilitate air transit and revive tourism in a healthy space away from COVID-19. Kenya's ambassador at the UN Security Council said it was gravely concerned with recent Russia's announcement. The Kenyan ambassador, Martin Kimani, said this recent action in announcement breaches the territorial integrity of Ukraine.
Kenya is gravely concerned by the announcement made by the Russian Federation to recognize Donetsk and Luhansk regions of Ukraine as independent states. In our considered view, this action and announcement breaches the territorial integrity of Ukraine.
Putin's directive came hours after he recognized two separatist regions in Ukraine. The move paved the way to provide them with military support.
Our borders were not of our own drawing. They were drawn in the distant colonial metropoles of London, Paris, and Lisbon, with no regard for the ancient nations that they cleaved apart. At independence, had we chosen to pursue states on the basis of ethnic, racial, or religious homogeneity, we would still be waging bloody wars these many decades later. Rather than form nations that looked ever backwards into history with a dangerous nostalgia, we chose to look forward to a greatness none of our many nations and peoples had ever known. We chose to follow the rules of the Organization of African Unity and the United Nations Charter, not because our borders satisfied us, but because we wanted something greater, forged in peace.
The vaguely worded decree signed by Putin did not say if troops were on the move, and it cast the order as an effort to maintain peace.
Let's now have some sports news. In sports news, Zambia has sealed qualification for the 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations finals in Morocco in July after they played a 1-0 draw with Namibia at the Dobsonville Stadium in Soweto on Tuesday. Zambia advanced to the finals on their away goals rule after the first leg in Lusaka finished 0-0 last week. The Copper Queens had to do it the hard way without the talismanic figure of striker Barbara Banda, and after falling behind in the tie. Namibia took an early lead on 6 minutes when their skipper, Emma Naris, headed in a corner, and they were good value for that lead with a number of dangerous attacks. That was the way it stayed until 20 minutes to go when substitute Siomala Mapepa poked the ball into the net to send her teammates and the entire Zambian bench into a frenzy of celebration. They were able to hold on after that, not without some alarm, and so have qualified for their 4th Cup of Nations finals. They reached the quarterfinals in 1995 before group stage exits in 2014 and 2018, though they will want a vastly improved showing in Morocco to back up their excellent display at the Tokyo Olympic Games last year. The Cup of Nations will also serve as qualifiers for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, with the 4 semi-finalists automatically sealing their place at the global showpiece. The 2 next best sides will be involved in the intercontinental qualifiers to see who makes it to the World Cup. On that note, we come to the end of the news, but let's take a look at the headlines once again. PF Vice President Given LUBINDA drags the UPND youths to court for defamation of character. Mutendere residents living in fear after a shooting to death of a UPND member. A clergyman charges that legalizing polygamy will undermine Zambia's Christianity tag. And in international news, a UN expert in Sudan to verify rights violations after coup. And in sports news, SHEPOLOPOLO qualifier to the women AFCON. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from Luke 16, verse 10 to 11. Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much, and whoever is unrighteous in very little is also unrighteous in much. So, if you have not been faithful with the unrighteous money, who will trust you with what is genuine? Thank you for watching Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.